So we have the bird flu here, and as of January 24th, 2012, there have been 583 human cases of the virus in the world. Of these cases, 344 have resulted in a death. Consider the outcomes of these cases as a random sample of all possible outcomes. So the first thing we're going to do is obtain a point estimate of the proportion of people who would die if infected with the bird flu. So we have two important values here. We have the 583 human cases of the virus, and then 344 that have resulted in death. So our point estimate here is p hat, which is x over n. So x here is those that have died, and n is the total number of people that have had the bird flu. So I'm going to pull up my calculator here. And we have 344 divided by 583, and that is approximately 0.59, so approximately 59%. So now we're going to construct a 90% confidence interval for the proportion of cases that would be expected to result in death if a pandemic occurred. So we're going to go to do stat, and then proportion stats, and then one sample. And again, we have a summary here. Our number of successes is those who have died, so 344. Observations, those that have had it, so 583. And we're doing a confidence interval for P, and our level is 90. And we're going to hit compute here. And I am going to just snip this over. So we have confidence interval here is 0.557 if we round to 3 decimal places, 0.624, right? So our lower limit and our upper limit. And then you'll notice here this sample proportion is our point estimate. Right. And then if we look at the standard error, I'm just going to kind of draw this up here. We look at sigma sub p hat. We recall that this is p times the 1 minus p over n, but we don't know p, we just know p hat. So if we look at it that way, so if we do 344 divided by 583 times 1 minus our fraction, which we just calculated. So I'm going to do second negative to call my answer, divided by our n, which is 583. And then I'm going to do second x squared to get the square root, do second negative to call upon my answer, and enter. You'll notice that we get the standard error there. So that's what that value is on there. So the last thing we're going to do is interpret the confidence interval. So this is always interpreted the same way. So we're going to say that there's a really large font here. So we're going to say that we're a little bit bigger here. We are 90% confident that the true proportion of cases that would be expected to result in death if a pandemic occurred of bird flu would be between 0.557 and 0.624. In the page here. So it's basically the same thing every time. And so what you do when you're interpreting here is you're inserting that in. So you're blank % confident that the true proportion or mean of whatever you want to insert the context there is between your lower and upper bounds there. So that's your interpretation.